I am not a financial advisor, and I never give financial advice on this channel. 100% of this content is for entertainment purposes only. Happy Sunday, all you beautiful people out there. It's Lane here with MetaShackle, and today we're going to be going over a couple of different things. First, we'll start off here on my Patreon, where last night I posted this XRP 4-hour chart, which is available to all of my Journeyman and Master tier members, where I said the price will likely attempt a retest of the upper trend line on the 4-hour chart, but it's facing several challenges in that area. It was recently rejected off the equilibrium line, and there's a bearish fair value gap on the daily chart positioned just above that level. Together, these factors are likely to create an area of fierce resistance. So taking a look at that chart that I posted, which is on the 4-hour, this white arrow right here represents where price was trading when I put that post up. We can see that price is traded up to that exact area which I pointed out, which is right at the bottom of this fair value gap right here on the daily, as well as this upper trend line, which is the trend line for the entire pattern since hitting the all-time high. We did get that rejection right off of that point, coming right off of the number 1 level on my fib levels. Price is now wicked down into these bearish fair value gaps right here. The first one centered at around that 236 level. The second on the 4-hour centered at about that 239 level. We do have the 200-day moving average trading down here at about 225. So we'll want to be watching this area right here and see how price reacts within the equilibrium zone. What we would be looking for in a bullish scenario is for price to get up above and outside of the equilibrium zone, forming a full candle, wicks included. We would also want to see this bearish fair value gap on the daily being broken. If we can get up above this area, it will likely act as support, pushing us up to this weak doji waterfall that's resting at about that $2.58 level. If we can't break through this and price begins to fall down, the first thing you're going to want to watch is this bullish fair value gap, which is also on the 4-hour, which is centered at about that 228.5 range, as well as the 200-day moving average for potential support. Being that far below the Gaussian channel, if we do break through the 200-day moving average, wiping out this fair value gap here, we will likely fill this weak doji reverse waterfall at the 221.333 level. If this area does not hold as support, it's very likely that we could go much lower. And as you know in my previous video, although it's not posted on this particular chart, right here at about 218.5, there is a gap that needs to be filled, as well as keeping an eye on the reverse dragon pattern that we are currently trading in, with the tail being here, the back legs, the front legs, the hump, into the breakout right here with a mild retest coming down, taking out that low and moving upwards. I will be posting a chart later on my Patreon for all my paid members showing how this has been progressing. We didn't quite reach the flash crash marker, but we got in that general area. And keep in mind that the liquidity zone that I've been talking about is resting just below these candles right down here at about that 203.375 level. My target right here at the 192.202, all the way down to about that 183.5 level. So this is progressing nicely. It will be interesting to see how this pans out. For additional information and exclusive perks, do consider joining me on Patreon. And also keep your eye on the XRP versus Bitcoin chart. I will be posting this chart on Patreon as well for all members to see, as we are currently trading below the equilibrium zone and just above the lower trend line on this smaller overall pattern that we're seeing now, which started right around the Trump pump in early November. Price was rejected right here off the equilibrium line, nearly perfectly in the center of the equilibrium zone on May 14th, giving us this second rejection. So we came down, bounced off the trend line, got rejected at the top line, fell back down to the lower trend line, was rejected once again, and have now fallen below. So it will also be very important to keep your eyes on the Bitcoin chart, as Bitcoin just punched through this bearish order block right here on the hourly chart, got rejected off of this bearish fair value gap at 105.5, and has since fallen back down into that order block. We do have a weak doji reverse waterfall on the 4-hour chart right here at 103,188, being flanked by another bearish SIBI right here centered at the 102.6 at the 102,600 level. We have another weak doji reverse waterfall down here which is much weaker as it's just on the hourly at 101,833, but we are also outside of this trend line right now, and there's a good chance that this wedge pattern may hold up. But it's not going to be easy getting above this SIBI here, and if we do, we have to contend with this bearish order block right here on the 4-hour chart, which starts at about 107,000. That's not going to be easy to get through at all. And just above that is where I believe we will set the new all-time high up in this area, moving towards this upper trend line somewhere between these red lines right here, which on my chart are the +4, +4.5 range. This is likely where we'll get rejected, but if we do get up above this, retest this upper trend line, there's a really good chance that rather than stalling out here at about that 110,000, 112,700 level, that we could see a move if we came up bouncing off this upper trend line, heading to perhaps even 120, 123,000 range. I don't know the exact levels. That's just kind of the area that I've been considering. So don't take that as gospel, but if we do see that retest of this trend line moving up, it's definitely going to make a substantial move, which will put even more pressure on the XRP versus Bitcoin chart. So to all my Patreon members, I will be posting that chart for all my members to see, as well as a few additional charts, of which I believe Flare is one of them. I'm not exactly sure which ones I'm going to post, but there's going to be a couple additional charts there, just so that everybody has access to this information. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great day.